Welcome back to Horse Racing today for Foreign Friday with myself and wine sipping 22-1 Thomas over there. Was that wine? I hope I got that right. Or is
that is wine? Yeah, it's a Chardonnay from Ohio.
Ohioan Chardonnay. So give us your review.
Oh, it's very buttery.
Very
little
buttery.
oak, touch of oak. It's very pleasant. Their wines they're wineries along the Lake Erie, and they're one of the pioneers. They started in 1968. So, and everybody, of course, told them, "Oh, you can't grow vinifera Chardonnay like in Cabernet. Weather's too harsh." Well, guess what? They've been doing it for a few years.
And they've been doing it in a buttery oak-like fashion, Thomas.
Well, with Chardonnays, they've been adapted to the what the market is, and right now the more buttery Chardonnays are in. So they tend to make that type.
So how many buttery Chardonnays have you had so people know how much to weigh that into your evaluations today?
More than I care to admit to.
All right. So keep that in mind, folks. So we're going to go off to...
Yeah, I've been drinking wine since I'm 16 and I'm 67 now. So you can do the math.
And you haven't taken a break, like 10-minute break since?
Oh, well, no. I mean, when I handicap these kind of races, you need something to help you along.
For sure. So in terms of the racing, I'm always confused. Is it Saturday night or Sunday morning? They're racing on Sunday over there, right?
11:30, I think, is 11 o'clock is the first post.
But they're actually on Sunday. They're racing Sunday.
They're racing Sunday during the day. Yeah. Sha Tin.
And I know it's insomnia racing, as I call it, because it's overnight. The first race we're going to do, in fact, is race number 6. And you'll see when race number 6, the GLADIOLUS handicap actually starts at 1:30 a.m. Eastern. Let's take a look at that race there, Mr. Thomas. This one's going to be 1,000 meters on the turf course. We come over to our looking at
straight course.
Straight down there. They run that way and then they turn. So they're going the wrong way, but that's okay. They're going straight nonetheless. So in these straight races at Sha Tin, Tom, what are we looking for?
Well, for a 5 furlong race, how about some speed? And at this level, this is a mixed bag of horses, being that there's some ones that have never raced or have limited amount of racing in Hong Kong. So it's kind of rolling the dice, and I tried a couple of those. We'll get to those in a minute after you do your speed numbers.
Yes, we're going to take a look at the speed numbers here. So you can see Cheval Valiant and Super Commando, Pleasant, and a whole bunch of horses, Tom, want to be towards the front.
Yeah.
So I guess, just looking at this diagram, I would expect the pace to be hot. So I might look for a horse in the middle that has a little bit of late energy to get the job done. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I'm playing I got 2 on the outside and 1 on the inside are my choices. So, but I tend to see the ones on the inside that seem to do a little better.
Yeah, I just think all these horses bunched up in the front, I should press the pace a little bit and give somebody with a little bit of late energy an edge. All right, Tom, you mentioned that you got 3 horses that you're going to pick from a field of 14. Big fields, hopefully big payouts. What are you starting with?
I'm going to start with number 9, Ma Comet, withdraw 11. It's an import from Australia, has 8 starts in its career, has only 1 win and 3 seconds and 3/3. The barrier trials have looked pretty good, actually very good. Got 3 wins and 3 placings. And they, based on some of the comments that were written, they did put pressure on him and asked him for speed, and he performed. Well, we got a 5 furlong race, so they got Zach Pruton going to ride. And of course, he's the top rider in Hong Kong, so you must think they've got something. So it's not going to be a big price. The next one would take us number 4, Stellar Express, which has the draw 14. It's a French import and has some interest, to say the least. He raced at St. Cloud and had his win at this distance, and it was a pretty quick race. He has 4 barrier trials coming to Hong Kong, and he's placed in 3 of those. His one is definitely going to show speed. And he gets James McDonald, so it'll be interesting to see from the outside what he can do with that horse. And finally, I'm going to take number 3, California Deeply. Withdraw 4 is my final choice. He runs this distance. He does well. He's done it at Happy Valley. Of course, that's of course a turn, not a straight. And he ran 5th and made up some ground late. So when you were saying maybe somebody was a little reserve at the end, this one could be your choice.
I'm going to start off with number 4, Stellar Express. And I laugh because I may have done the wrong 6 races, Tom. I might only 5. I might only be good for the first 3.
Okay.
Anyway, but anyhow, Stellar Express. I think if this one is ready, been off for a while, it is the class of this field. Number 1, Flying High. My second choice in here, Thomas. This one has a recent case of seconditis, but he's been a really consistent performer at the high end. So seconditis, put him in second. But I do think he's got a shot to win. The one you started off the day with, Tom, My Comet is my third choice in there as well. Also coming off an extended rest, Tom, but at the distance, 4 times out, unfortunately hasn't won any of them yet, but he's got a couple of thirds and a second. And then he's got, 3 seconds and a third. And then finally, number 2, Pleasant Endeavor is my final choice in here. One of those type of horses, Tom, that runs well in bunches, kind of clunker, good race. And then he ordinarily follows that good race with another good race. The last one was a win. So I'm expecting another good race here. And it's getting a 10-pound weight allowance, Tom. That could be enough to make a big difference in just a 5-furlong race.
Yeah, those apprentice allowances in these kind of races sometimes pay off very handsomely.
I don't know how I messed up the races, Tom, but I think I may have done that. So we're going to go to race number 7 now. This one's the Hong Kong Classic Mile. They're going to go a mile, right? Otherwise it would be an interesting name. That one is, you're looking at 1,600 meters on our map over here. So the 1,600 meter, they'll start back in the chute. They'll come around. They'll make one big sweeping turn. So here, Tom, when we have one-turn races, we treat them more like sprints than we do routes. Maybe not so much on the grass, but do we have any?
Make an argument for that on the grass.
So at Sha Tin, are they more of a sprint or more of a route?
I think it's more of a route.
It's
the key here is watch those closers.
Yeah, I would think from watching them. So looking this way, they're going to run the other way now. They're going to confuse the hell out of everybody, but looks like this time, Chan Chang Glory likely to be up on the front, but just looking at this pace, it looks like they'll probably spread out from front to back. I would think that they wouldn't go overly fast because you got a lone E up in here. He's going to probably try to go only as quick as he needs to go. Maybe there's a shot to go wire to wire, Tom, but you think closers are going to be the key. So who's the key to your picks?
I generally went with that, but I couldn't find a lot of speed in this race.
And
I went with the speed horse, which is Cheng Cheng Glory, with number 6, who's got draw 4. I think he may be the only speed in this race. And if that's the case, he lays close to the pace. He does pretty well. He's won 5 out of 10 races, and he's 4 wins from 5 starts at this distance. So maybe this is his wheelhouse. Being this is the distance he does best at. Nobody pushes him, and he gets a slow pace, and he's had some slow-paced races. I think he could be there at the end. So I'm going to put him on top, try to give it a shot. You got to get a little price on him because the next one, number 1, Helios Express, draw 6 is definitely going to be the favorite in my opinion. Last race, 1,600 meters was the first time. Won by 2 3/4 lengths, and it could have been more from what it looked like. And he's a hot horse, to say the least. He managed a 3rd race back, but he was too far back to be in contention. Otherwise, he would have been a lot of wins. He's been winning nicely, and he did nicely win last time out. So to me, that's the favorite. I'm going to take number, what is it, 5, Beauty Crescent as my final choice as draw 2. It's number 1 at Hong Kong, but knows how to finish in the money. And it's got 10 starts and 6 placings. Comes late, which I like, and just missed by a head last time out. I think adding a little distance for this one maybe make the difference of a better effort. So I put it on as my third choice.
I got the 3-horse Haleen Feeling as my top choice, top jockey, Zach Purton right in there. This one always puts forth a quality effort. Thomas, I'm going to see if we can beat the likely 1-to-1 or under even money favorite. My second choice, Helios Express.
Yeah, he's definitely the favorite.
Yeah, lifetime, as you mentioned, Tom, the horse, 7 races, 5 wins, a couple of seconds in third. He's run at this track, and he's won 4 of 6. So he likes the Hong Kong Sha Tin circuit there for sure. Number 2, How Deep Is Your Love? Thomas, who doesn't like the Bee Gees, my man?
Well, somebody who named the horse likes the Bee Gees.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
And they're also dating themselves, too.
Yeah, that's all right, though. I mean, that's one of those songs that at the end of like the 7th grade dance in the cafeteria, you know, you were looking for the girl you thought was cute, right? Anyway, I like the fact that this one is going to be closing at the end and is going to benefit from a little extra distance today. And then finally, number 6, the one you agree, I agree with you, Thomas, gets to the front. Look out. The only place this horse has ever raced is at Sha Tin. He's got 10 races, 5 wins, a couple of seconds. But the distance here, we talked about that 1-turn mile. Must really like that 1-turn mile. As you pointed out, Tom, 5 races at 1 mile, 1-turn mile. Sha Tin won 4 of them. So if he can gallop off to a comfortable lead without really pressing the pace, he might make it 5 of 6 in my view.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of he gets pressed. If he gets away with a slow pace, and then I think he's going to be tough.
So the next race for you and me, and then you're on your own, is race 8, the Centenary Vase. This one's going to be 1,800 meters, my friend. 1,800 meters are going to start all the way back in the chute, and this is a 1-turn, 1.125 run. So if 1 mile, 1-turn has got some speed component to it, front runner type, I don't see why a 1.125 might not too, Tom. So any front runners in your picks here? Hold on. Before we do that, let's look at the early speed. You got Money Catcher. That one will be up on the front. Looks like most of them, though, really want to be middle back. So again, just looking at the number of horses and where they want to be positioned, these guys up front can get away with reasonable fractions. They have a really good shot to stay there, in my view. Any of them going to stay there in your view?
I didn't lean that way. I took some of those mid-pack types. And with that, I took number 1, Straight Aaron, as my top choice. His draw 3. Last 2 races were in Group 1 races, and he didn't do much. So he drops back to a Group 3 level. He's won at this distance before. He's won at Group 3s. He won at Group 2. He sits off the pace, and he pounces at the end, and I think he'll be your winner. Even though you got my next choice was number 6, Happy Together, as with draw 2, has been a really moving up the ladder, improving horse. Last time out, beat at Happy was won at Happy Valley. The last time out, it was a Group 3 at this distance. So interesting, but of course there's a little difference because you got 2 turns at Happy Valley, not 1 turn. He's done well in all his last 6 races. I mean, he ran a 3rd in one of them. That was his only stinker. If you want to call 3rd a stinker. I think dead last is a stinker.
Yeah, 2nd to last, somewhere in there. But yeah.
And I'm going to take a little bit of a shot with this one, number 12, Nimble Nimbus, with draw 5. No match last time out that he raced against Happy Together. He was 4th. He's run some Group 1s and really, he ran against Romantic Warrior. Yeah, forget it. That horse run in Australia in the Valley, set a track record, came back to Hong Kong, won one of the biggest races there. Yeah, that's a good horse. That's why I'm putting him in the money. I think he's back at a level where he should be able to perform fairly well.
All right, for me, the last time today, because I I did the wrong. I did the 2 races before these 3. I must have counted wrong when I was going through the
Well, it's new.
program.
Is it new math?
It's the Chardonnay, Tom. I had my first glass in a long time.
Or maybe you haven't had it in a while. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, osmosis, right? The 2-horse Encountered is my first selection for this race here, Tom. This guy's going to be closing for sure. And in the U.S., I know if a horse ups its speed figure 3 or 4 races in a row, according to Barry Meadows, that is an alpha angle that wins at 15% or more. Let's see how that translates in Hong Kong. Straight Aaron is the second choice for me, Thomas. This horse has run at this distance 3 times, managed to bring home the top check in 2 of them, which is by far his highest win percent for any particular distance. Money Catcher, the one that we saw out on front there in the pace setup for this particular race, Tom, it's going to be on that pace, I think. And another one where there might be not a whole lot chasing this guy down, and he's actually taken a little step down in class from Group 3. And then the other one that you like.
This is a group. This is a group.
I was looking for the group in there, but I could. Oh, there it is. Never mind. He's staying at the same level then.
He's staying the same level. Yeah, but he's been competitive. Mm-hmm. So I don't think you're wrong to put him in there.
Scratch that note. And then the one with the catchy name, Nimble Nimbus, something Tom and I agree on. This one absolutely for sure has some of the best back class in this field. 4 races back, finished second, I think, versus a similar field. And this guy has been running in higher group races than he is running today. Correct?
Yeah, he has. And he got to see the back end of Golden 60 too.
Yes, most horses do though, Tom.
Well, 26 times they have. Out of 29, that's a pretty good record.
So Detroit Joker, free international. Where can you get them? Are you last time?
Daily Racing Form is one, and the Hong Kong Jockey Club's website has a ton of information.
So Detroit Joker says to watch the post parade, provided you're up at 2:30 in the morning. One of the nice things about when we do Hong Kong is I go to bed and then I wake up and I get to like a Christmas present. I get to look to see how we did. It's always a lot of fun. Hello from Colombia. Hola, Marcus. ¿Cómo está? Bien y du. Barry Meadows, indeed. Are you familiar with Barry Meadows? The name of the horse, Barry Meadows. Unless you are Barry Meadows, that would be interesting. Yeah. But there's another one, and I'll link to it when I put Tom and my information over what we talk about here, along with the track picture and all the different race criteria. I'll link over to that in our story at horseracingtoday.net. There'll also be a link for a free pass performances that comes from Hollywood Casino. Actually, they put a pretty good one out. It's the one I use when I'm doing the handicapping. So the free link will be available on horseracingtoday.net probably sometime later, even on this evening or tomorrow. So take a look out for that.
Well, as I said, the Hong Kong Jockey Club site, it's got an overwhelming amount of information.
Mm-hmm. I'm all out of information, Tom.
I know.
So I'm going to have to do a little bit of what we shall call on the fly editing, my friend, because I have all the wrong races in here. So hold on.
You can certainly can do your races, and I can do mine. Or
all right, we'll just do this. We'll just go right.
Commentary on.
We'll just go to the Gladius handicap. That's the one you're going to do next, right?
At number 9, yeah.
Yes. So number 9 is 1,400 meters. At 1,400 meters, they're going to make almost one full turn around the track there. It's a little bit short, leaving one turn out. Tom, I don't have any thoughts on this one, but that's a good idea. When you're done doing these 2 races, I'll do the 2 I did, and that way we'll cover most of the card on the day. So fire away with your thoughts. Oh, hold on. Before we go to that, let's take a look at the speed map on this one and see what it's going to reveal. Looking at this one, a lot of speed in this one, Thomas. Most of the horses are going to push up front. Ariel will definitely have a lot of pressure. I would guess then you want somebody right here in the middle or in the back to close this race out, Tom. How do you rank them?
Yeah, I kind of went that way. I went with number 4, Top Scorer with draw 12. Only has 2 races in its career. It's run second twice, and been well bet, to say the least.
Mhm.
And had some issues in both those races, but at the end it was moving. And so does the post hurt? It possibly. Could he finally break through and get a win? I'm thinking this is maybe the group to do that in with, I should say. I did
Mhm.
take 3 Ariels, my next choice, withdraw 1. I like the rail for this horse because it is gonna show some speed. And it ran a nice race last time out. Ran second, lost by half a length. And it showed speed in the last couple of races, and hasn't in the past. If you look at its past performances, so they're either changing tactics or they changed. I think they may have changed equipment. I think I saw an equipment change that seems to indicate that maybe they're trying something different.
Mhm.
And finally, and this is also true of my final horse, number 11, Sunlight Power, would draw 7. Just missed by a neck out last out, and we came from 12th to run second. So definitely it would qualify as a late mover. And it's improved. In other races, not so much, but they did make an equipment change. So I think that helped.
That'll be
And
helpful for that one.
yeah, so that's why I put it in there, because I just think that the equipment change and that run last time out shows improvement.
Well, I don't have any reason to put anything in anything. So our next up for you and me is going to be to skip forward a race, and that will be the last race of the day, the Azalea Handicap. That one is going to be race number 10. In this case, Tom, they're going to run 1,200 meters. Again, 1,200 meters right here.
Yeah, wrong track.
Oh, so that one's in the all-weather?
It's on all weather.
All right. Well, I don't have that one in here. I can open that one later. But let's go ahead and talk about.
It's okay.
We're doing good there, folks. All right. So let's go ahead.
I just wanted to point out this is an all-weather race, not a turf race.
Yeah, same thing. A lot of speed here again,
different.
Tom. And I know here in the States on the all-weather track, typically it does favor horses that like to stalk, especially the longer the race goes. Is that going to be the same in terms of what happens at Sha Tin?
I've seen everything happen on this all-weather track. Since it's not calling for any rain or anything, I'm going to think those mid-pack horses probably will look nice.
Okay, so who do you got there?
Well, ironically, I took one that has never run on the all-weather. So I took number 2, Season's Wit, with draw 10. Tried group 3 last time out. Awkward start, bumped, never recovered. So now they're going to try it on the all-weather. Ran second at this distance and level, but of course that wasn't all-weather. That was no. This is his first try in the all-weather, I should say. He ran second. I did that wrong. Let me try again. Okay. So I looked at that all-weather race, liked it. Other races, been at Happy Valley. We'll see if that transfers over to all-weather. I'm going to put him on top just because I think he's got a little back class. Number 3, Pinya Gallery is going to be a nice choice. Let's draw 4. He's shown speed in the past, but is unable to hang on. So why do I pick him here? I think he's a better all-weather horse than he is a turf horse. And when he does, he's like your kind of horse. When he does like that, he's got 4 starts and 2 wins. It means he runs some stinkers.
I like those all or nothings because you tend to get good odds on them. And if you pick them on the all day, you get paid.
Yeah. And I think based on this field, it's got a good chance here. And finally, I'm going to take Ching Prince, my final choice. And it's draw 5. That's number 4. His all-weather record is 19 starts. He's got 4 wins, 4 seconds, and 3 thirds. He hasn't shown much lately, but he's been only 2 lengths or less behind other horses. So I really don't. I see him moving more forward than I see backwards here, and I think this is a good distance for him because he's dropping in distance, and I think he'll finish stronger.
So speaking of moving not forward but backwards, that's what we're going to do now because I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I'm going to do the glorious handicap. Race number 4, Tom. That's what I've got. How did I screw that up? I don't know.
Very carefully.
So this one's going to be this one will be on the turf. This one will be 1,400 meters, Tom. They're going to run from here, make their way around the card. Let's go ahead and look at the Speed Pro. Again, this is all over at hkjc.com, so you can get the same information that we're looking at here. In this particular spot, Tom, we see most of the horses being middle back, just from that structure or that sort of race shape where you got that triangle with everybody in the back. I prefer to have a little bit of speed in that spot. So for me, so you're going to be able to do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's a lot of that card that'll be going on at Hong Kong that day. I like, because I completely screwed up which races I'm going to do, the 4-horse Sky Heart. That's the top choice for me. Typical second race improvement for this horse, making its second career start. Could be more than enough to get the W here. At number 5, Ballistic Win, faster by almost a second in its last race. And again, when I'm handicapping at home here in the States, if I see horses whose times have improved, especially that much, almost always a sign of a horse that's coming into form. Foolish Heart. So we go from the Bee Gees to Journey. and obviously Journey fans, but this one could benefit from cutting back in distance today. This time, the last time the horse did the route to a sprint thing, it was from a race to a barrier trial, but managed to make easy work with a barrier trial up front. And then finally, I Can, and then Screw Things Up should be the final for that for me, but was much better in his last race and could continue to move up that ladder in the classic third start after a layoff. Let's see. Michael says, no drugs, just hay and oats. No over racing is why I play Hong Kong. The only problem is the hours. Yeah, there's no question about that. The hours, that's why I said it's like Christmas.
It's definitely a challenge. But when you look at the size of those fields, payoffs generally are pretty good. I mean, even a favorite at 3-1, I'll take any day.
The Detroit Joker says he lived in Hong Kong for 8 years. How did you like that over there, my friend? I bet that was a lot of fun. And then the last card for me, Thomas, is going to be race number 5. That one is the Daffodil Handicap. This time they're going to run 2,000 meters. So 2,000 meters means they're going to start here. More than one full trip around the track. In those races, almost, when they start those races, almost always they come off to a kind of a slow start. And then they really pick up speed at the end. So late speed in a lot of those races is hugely important. Taking a look at what
last 600 meters is key.
Yeah, guys that have that late juice in them, they get the good honey and oats. But you got a pretty even outfield here. So maybe if you can run some decent fractions, I'd still look for these horses somewhere in here that get good position, save ground, and then are able to make that big turn for home. For me, the horse I think will make the turn for home and get there first, Mr. Tom, is the 1-horse, Elliptical. The Elliptical horse is one of those horses where the distance isn't a problem. Absolutely, I feel like has some of the best or most back class in the race, and there were some hints at a rebound in that last effort. And number 3, I think, what do you call those horses, Tom? You have a name for them. It's one of your favorite handicapping angles.
Yeah, one of my favorite handicaps is the Signs of Life horse.
Yes.
Where it's all of a sudden doing something it hadn't been doing in a while. Or in the case of a maiden claiming race, it had been running last, or close to last. And then all of a sudden it shows a burst of energy through part of the race and still finishes in the back of the field. But that's out of the norm for that horse. So I've caught a couple of nice payoffs.
Yeah, we've had a few on this show.
Yeah.
Simple Hedge, Zach Burton. There's that top jock over there in Hong Kong. His name showing up again. This one is steadily getting better from race to race to race to race, and almost never puts in a sour effort. Number 4, Ka Ying Generation. This horse is another one that's going to be running very hard at the end. I think getting some long distance in here could be useful. I think this one should be able to save a lot of ground because it's probably going to be all the way towards the back of the pack. And if it can make up some late legs, I think this one could come home at a big price. The ultimate Tom horse. Going to win? Nah. But fatten up your exacta and trifecta? Yeah, maybe. And then finally, Awesome Fluke. What's that, Tom?
I said that's not a bad thing.
Never a bad thing. But Awesome Fluke. This one's going to make its second start after a layoff. And when you look through that resume, it says you can almost always count on that horse having a better effort in round 2 off the bench relative to round 1. So there you go. A little extra. We ended up doing, what is that, 7 races, Tom?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did.
How about that? All in 30 minutes. That's pretty amazing, folks. If you like what you saw here today, if you can give us a thumbs up on Facebook or YouTube, we'd appreciate that. Also on YouTube, there's a share button. If you can copy that and then take that link and share it with your friends on all your social sites, however it is you communicate. Of course, hit the subscribe button for Horse Race, the number 2 day on X, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and then while you're here at Horse Racing Radar TV, hit that subscribe button and that bell. Tom, aside from me being confused per usual, any confusion about what we're going to do next week?
I have no clue. I haven't looked, to be honest with you. I was focusing on these races because, let's face it, these are tough races. There's nothing really popped out on the page at me. I had to do a little digging.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to do the handicapping for a different set of races, but it worked out, bonus for everybody involved in that respect. So we'll go ahead and then update you to what we're going to do from the 4 and Friday next Friday on our social sites. Of course, Terry and I will be back on Monday and Tuesday for Parks Racing, and then Wednesday and Thursday, Charles and I for Gulfstream Park again this weekend. Huge race down in Gulfstream, the Holy Bull. Last year, I think you had Forte and Mage in that race. So you had the Kentucky Derby winner and one of the best 3-year-olds last year, who kind of disappointed in some of the other races, but did win the Belmont, right? Forte, if I remember correctly. So 2 out of the 3.
No, he did not win the Belmont.
He didn't win. Which one did he win? It wasn't the Preakness, because he didn't run in the Preakness. I thought he came back to win the Belmont. Oh no, the girl won the Belmont. That's right, with that horse. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the woman jockey. I mean, woman trainer.
The woman trainer, who was on our show.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, that wraps it up for our 4 and Friday. We look forward to joining you during the week next week and next Friday when Tom and I figure out what we're going to do. Hopefully, we'll agree on the same set of races.
We'll communicate. Our radar will work better, I hope.
Yeah, something along those lines. Hong Kong is not for beginners. That's for sure. Run Horse YouTube up now. Yep, indeed. Is that your show, Run Horse? Is that you, Detroit Joker? Is that a show that you have? Let us know if that's the case, because we believe in promoting other people in this space, because I feel like it's forever.
What we learn on each race at Hong Kong, and that's true just about anywhere else in the world we go.
So anywhere we learn, I like to learn from other people. I'm not going to lie. I mean, there's some things I've created myself in my handicapping angle, but I ain't too proud to take something that works for somebody else and apply it to my craft as well. All right. Any final words, Tom, before we get out of here today?
Always with Hong Kong, I say survive.
Indeed.
And then bet smart.
Well, we hope you do a hell of a lot more than survive. We certainly hope you get God's grace, God's favor, and everything you do ends up in
the winner's enclosure.
Is it a winner's enclosure over there, Tom?
Yeah, I think it is, actually.
All right. Have a fantastic weekend, folks. We look forward to seeing you next time.